Activision has officially lifted the lid on Call of Duty Black Ops 4, or Call of Duty Black Ops II, as it's catchily written down. Isn't that right, Gareth Evans, who's sitting here with me, Mike Williams?
Aye, that is right.
Oh, very nice. Right, the biggest headline from this big reveal is unquestionably the fact that it has no single-player campaign. There's also the fact they've chucked in zombies. Not zombies. There's zombies in it. They chucked in Battle Royale. I'm getting confused with all of these
features.
Yeah, these generic sounding features. Yeah, there's Battle Royale in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but there is no single-player campaign. Now, that is the single biggest headline. That's what most of the discussion has been about online.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that today in this very video.
Yes.
And the question, does it need single player? Does it need a single player campaign? Now, that's not us saying it doesn't need it. We're just posing a question.
Yeah.
We're posing a question which we're going to get to in a bit. So the reveal came from Activision and Treyarch. They officially unveiled the game kind of last week. What did we learn last week, guys?
Well, let's go into it then. It will be, obviously, multiplayer-focused game now with no single player, as traditionally it has been. So, and also it will include zombies as well. You kind of said that by mistake, but yeah, zombies is still there, so that's one of the things that they haven't cut.
Yeah.
Because they did cut the single player campaign. It's been described as the deepest, most replayable COD game yet. A nice bit of marketing spiel there for you.
Yeah.
But there will be no wall running or jetpacks. It's all boots on the ground, baby.
Yeah.
Adamant to get that in there because boots on the ground is one of these mantras that the community has been chanting for years, and they're sticking with it this time.
COD World War II last year was the big, this is it, everyone, boots on the ground, and they're obviously carrying that theme on now, aren't they?
That's what the community wants, so they're sticking with that. So the game will share the near future setting of Black Ops 2 and 3, but Treyarch have dialed back the future tech a bit, so it's not quite as far into the future as the previous entries, I guess.
It's still a little bit, though, because there's a bit in the trailer where, as there almost always is, someone kind of putting down some kind of shield that then automatically folds out into an even bigger, more impressive shield. So you can portable cover that you can hide behind. I feel like that's in every COD trailer, but anyway, that's in there, and that's a little bit futuristic.
That is futuristic, Mike, you're right. But they say they have a revamped weapon system, which Treyarch claims have more improvements than Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 combined.
Ooh,
that is a lot of
tasty.
Of improvements indeed. So the multiplayer will be more tactical this time around, allowing for wider strategies and better pacing, apparently. Big sell on the multiplayer, obviously.
I guess you have to, don't you? If you're going to do it, if you're going to shed the single player, you've got to just keep talking about how brilliant the multiplayer is going to be this time around. Putting all the eggs in that basket, really, aren't they?
And the most notable thing for me is that it looks like more of a hero-based gameplay now, which is new for COD, kind of like Overwatch, you could say. That's the way it looks. So individual characters now are called specialists. They're not heroes, they're specialists in this game. We'll be clear about that. And they each have their own backstory and unique abilities, such as medic, recon, the guy with the shield, and the guy with the dog.
I hope they're called that. That would be good. This is new for COD, like you say, but it's certainly not new for Activision Blizzard, is it? Because like you said, Overwatch, this is obviously they're moving more towards that model. And Overwatch is huge, so why would they not? I guess. In one sense.
We will probably touch on that later with the interview that we will discuss in a short while. But next up is Zombies. It will be a more narrative-driven experience with 3 different campaigns for players to get through, each with a different theme and setting. So firstly, there is 9, which is a Roman gladiator-style arena. Voyage of Despair, which puts zombies on the Titanic, apparently. That's the thing. And then Blood of the Dead, which is set in an Alcatraz-style prison.
So like the multiplayer, the zombies is bigger and better because there literally is 3 different settings and themes this time around, which is not what you normally get.
Which is very meaty. It's awesome if you like zombies as a game type. It's pretty cool. So also during the reveal, Treyarch also announced Black Ops 4 would indeed have its own version of Battle Royale that everyone's talking about, and this is called Blackout specifically. But they were very vague about Blackout. It said it would be one large map, 1,500 times the size of Nuketown or something they said it was.
Okay, well, which is very small. So I love the metric though. It's like it's not 5 kilometers by 5 kilometers. It's 1,500 times Nuketown. How many Nuketowns is this?
But it will have land, sea, and air vehicles, which is notable. Some people are saying, well, you don't you're a COD game. You don't do land, sea, and air vehicles very well. You're throwing it in for this Blackout or Battle Royale game type. So that is notable for sure. Blackout will also have content from all the previous Black Ops games, including characters and weapons from the Zombies mode. So there should be plenty of variety. So we don't know how many players Blackout will support. They're keeping tight-lipped at the moment. Apparently they're playing around with it, seeing which works best for their game, I guess.
You look at a Battle Royale standard is like 100, isn't it? But then, it's difficult how they obviously going to have to test all kinds of things like balancing and stuff, and it's not like PUBG where it's a pretty even playing field at the beginning. How this is COD, so are they going to do that, or are they going to have your landing with extra perks and abilities active or whatever? Like, how is that all going to work? So I'm sure they'll have a lot more to share on that, because people will want to know, because this is, if you're going to do a big mode like that and join the Battle Royale bandwagon, obviously work wonders for Fortnite. They've got to do it right, haven't they?
I mean, do you land with a pickaxe, or do you land with an MP4? Do you know what I mean? That's the question. Is it going to be a traditional, like we know it, type of Battle Royale, or is it obviously? Does
everyone land with a pistol or something? It's what are they going to do to change it up?
A lot of questions still up in the air, that's for sure. The PC version is notable that the PC version will only be available exclusively through Blizzard's Battle.net services, which has raised a few eyebrows again. Why can't we get it on Steam? But we discussed this I think it might have been in a stream or something. It
might, and it does kind of make sense a little bit to me to not split up, because that's what's historically happened, and it's been a bit weird. They've just split up the PC player base. You had a group of PC players on Steam, you had a group of PC players elsewhere, so that just put them all in one place, I guess, and it makes more sense.
Kind of makes sense. And so that was kind of the end of our kind of feature list, like rundown, I guess. They are going to share more at E3 2018, so hopefully we'll answer some more of our questions there.
Fair play. I mean, it's a pretty big and open reveal. There's a lot of marketing waffle in there, of course there is, but it is a lot of stuff. They've bullet pointed a lot of things there, so as an early reveal about this time of year, as it always happens, you've gotten a good sense of what the game is. So if you're interested at this point, then there's going to be a lot more at E3. But it didn't stop there, because after the reveal event, Treyarch invited members of the COD community and the press to actually get a hands-on look at the multiplayer. There are some hands-on gameplay videos and stuff online on YouTube and that. Well, developers from Treyarch did some interviews with press as well. The Eurogamer spoke to co-head of Treyarch, Dan Bunting. So they asked him about the decision to scrap the traditional single-player campaign, as we said at the top of the video. Definitely the biggest headline from all this. He said there was never going to be one ever since development started. So here are his quotes. "There was never a traditional campaign. We've always wanted to tell stories in different ways. We've always wanted to celebrate our community, especially how you play the game with friends. The heart and soul of this game is how you play games with friends, and we wanted to do more with that than we've ever done before." So it sounds like, because initial reports, I guess, that contradicts initial reports that kind of indicated that they'd done it a little bit and removed it. And they were experimenting with Battle Royale and stuff instead, and they've kind of, he's just come out of the gates there and said, we never wanted to put a single player in it, which is a bit unusual because it's called Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The Black Ops series has this like narrative thread running through it, and it's got this strong fan base for the story of the Black Ops kind of sub-series. So there you go, that's the first big point to raise from the interviews. There never was going to be a traditional campaign. Eurogamer then asked Bunting about the online reaction to having no single player campaign, how the fans reacted, and it's been a bit of a controversy. In response to that, Bunting said, quote, "I think change is always going to be hard for people. I would say to our fans, Treyarch has never let you down over the years. This is a studio you know is always going to deliver the best of the experiences you know and love, especially with the Black Ops series. We are delivering so much more of what players spend most of their time doing in our games in the series, from the multiplayer, with the way we are going much deeper into the validating new playstyles, so anybody can pick up the game and play it and feel like they can have fun, to zombies, and having the biggest content delivery we've ever done in a game launch, to our brand new Blackout mode, which is inspired by the Battle Royale genre, but done in our own unique way." So there's a lot to process there. But that last bit, he's kind of focusing on, yes, there's no single player, but look at all the good stuff you're getting instead.
He's delivering the hard sell is what he's doing, and obviously it's going to rile some people up that, might love the single player campaign in the COD series, specifically Black Ops. So he has to kind of deflect the attention. Oh, look at all the awesome things that happen. Never mind that shitty thing that you might not like is happening. It is sales speak, but he obviously has to go hard in on the features of the game when you are disappointing, quite a few of your fan base, I guess.
It's the language is kind of trust us, we know what we're doing. Interestingly, he says this is a studio you know is always going to deliver the best of the experiences experiences you know and love. I was looking at that for a while thinking, is he saying that Treyarch is the best Call of Duty studio? I thought he was kind of having a little nudge at the other Call of Duty developers.
Fuck you, Sledgehammer.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of others. So I thought that was interesting. And obviously the top line there, I think change is always going to be hard for people, which is true, but it's the maker of Call of Duty talking about change.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite ironic in itself since Call of Duty has been the same franchise for years and years and years now. But telling people that they're going to have to accept this change is not what's going to happen, right? What's going to happen is the people who bought it for the single player game aren't going to accept the change. They're just not going to buy the game. Yeah. Full stop. Nobody's going to change. The people who like multiplayer will play the game. Nobody's going to change here, dude. Not even your game might have changes in it, but I doubt it'll change that much. It's still COD at the end of the day.
It's an interesting approach. Like, trust us. This is what you want. Trust us. We've been able to do so much more with zombies. We've been able to do so much more multiplayer. We've put battle royale in there. The battle royale is going to be unique. It's a gamble, I think, taking this approach, but that's what they've gone for. And there's also been a few rumors floating around, so it's been a kind of week on, I guess, from the reveal at the time of recording, anyway. And about the season passes. Now, this is particularly eye-catching. According to Gaming Intel, their sources have said Black Ops 4 will ditch the traditional season pass model, and instead players will get 1 or 2 free multiplayer maps per month. Immediately, you're not dividing the multiplayer player base, which has been a huge problem in COD for years, because the map packs, you've got to pay for them, which means that the people who pay are in a different pool of players. So the people who don't pay, so you're just dividing up the community, which is never a good idea. But that's the approach that Activision has taken for years, and the rumours are saying that they're going to change tack this year, which is interesting. Gaming Intel also say there will be a season pass for the zombies mode instead. So you're getting zombies content, which it doesn't matter. It doesn't rely on matchmaking and stuff as much, so it doesn't matter. It's also worth mentioning that COD points, so this is the series microtransaction currency, they will be making a return in Black Ops 4, probably to no one's real surprise. A retail listing from Australian retailer EB Games showed off the content included in the specialist edition of Black Ops 4, which is one of the the extra limited edition versions. And included in that, you get 1,100 COD points, digital bonus items, a 5-inch statue, and a steelbook game case. So there you go, 1,100 COD points. That must mean the microtransactions are in the game if they're giving them away in Australia as part of the specialist edition. And then pre-ordering Black Ops 4 will also give players access to a closed beta later in the year, so you can have a sample of the game yourself. Impressions of the multiplayer have been pretty positive, I think, from what I've seen. People are saying actually hands-on with it is good. It's really tight and stuff.
From what I read, apparently, the Treyarch do the gunplay really well, right? Yeah. And that's the bread and butter for multiplayer in Call of Duty, is that it wanted to feel authentic. They wanted to feel like the guns are good to use and enjoyable to play. So from what I've read, apparently people are enjoying it. But that raises the question for me is, I mean, they're doing like the hero thing a bit like Overwatch. They're doing a battle royale thing kind of like Fortnite, and it's the tactical kind of gameplay like Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone's comparing it to these games now. It's like plucking a feather from all of these things. But is it just like going with the trends? And it just feels to me like it might suffer from like an identity crisis, whereas it's not defining its own identity. It's trying to copy everyone in a certain way.
That's a really good point, and I think that the Call of Duty has for the last few years been a great package. You get in the multiplayer, you get in the single player, you get in the zombies, or you get in some kind of co-op mode. And that's how it's been for a few years, and that's fair enough. But now they've changed the formula. They've added in battle royale, and they've removed single player. Now I have been one of the if you speak to anyone about Call of Duty, I've been one of the people saying something has to change for years and years, and I don't. This has surprised me. It surprised me that the single player is gone. As to the question that we posed at the top of the video, does it need single player? I think that the reaction online and stuff tells you that there are people who really are invested in it and they want it and they feel like that's part of the package. But the trade-off, as Treyarch and Activision are saying here, is that they can focus more on the more popular things like multiplayer and zombies by not doing a single player mode. I would personally prefer to see single player in there, although that's purely because I sympathise with the people who buy into this package idea and go, I want to play this single player on my own. I want to play a bit of multiplayer and zombies. So that's where I am. I think it should have a single player, but it varies game by game basis, I guess.
I mean, I worry for the lack of single player, because the single player is what draws people in. I mean, maybe it's different these days, but when I used to buy shooter games. I bought it for the single player campaign, and then multiplayer was always an afterthought. It was I'd always jump in and think, oh yeah, this is quite good. And I'd stick around and play more, and that's how you grow and increase your player base. If you draw people in with the single player, and then they get hooked on the multiplayer and stick around. I feel like they're not tapping into that potential player base there by not doing that. But it speaks to me like it's obviously some sort of business decision where plowing their resources into game types that are monetizable in future after the purchase. Single player for AAA developers just don't make the money these days, and I think that's
they're expensive, especially the type of single player you get.
You're talking about plowing all the resources into voice actors and then developing all the
explosions and the helicopter crashes need to be rendered.
It just doesn't make the money. So they're just focusing on. They're telling us this is what we want. We're focusing on what we want, what the players want, right? However, for me, it smells like, well, this is you're going where the money is. You're going to the battle royale. You're going to the hero shooter. You're going to ways to monetize in future with like the zombie packs and microtransactions or whatever. It doesn't feel like this is a pro gamer orientated decision. It feels like a cold corporate decision. And on the back of Blake Jorgensen in November last year saying that single player games, narrative based single player games or whatever, just isn't where the money's at, essentially. These days for AAA publishers, it kind of all rings true.
I mean, at the very least, it's interesting to see the way things are evolving. From I can say things like that because I'm not a passionate Call of Duty fan who's really bought into this series, and I've long since fallen off the series. And I never thought the single player wasn't my cup of tea. It didn't feel like that corridor shooter type thing, which kind of really became a popular thing that all the shooters were trying to copy for a long period after Modern Warfare came out. That's not the kind of thing that I don't know. It's not been my cup of tea for a few years, but I can still sympathise with people who enjoy that, and suddenly they've been loyally buying these games year after year after year after year, and then suddenly the thing that they're looking forward to just isn't going to be there. So, but it's interesting to look at it from a distance, see how the industry's changing. COD is one of the biggest gaming franchises there is, and they're making some huge changes this year. That's what we've told you what we think about it. I should mention before we go that Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has got a release date October the 12th for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Fleeing in the wake of Red Dead Redemption, which is coming a few weeks later. So so COD is arriving a little bit earlier this year. We'd be really interested to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. There should be another video on your screens right now if you want to watch that, and a link to Patreon as well if you want to support the channel. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.